Hey guys, it's me. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about brushes and maintaining our brushes. And my camera's falling. Sorry. I moved it to a different side because I wanted to be at my sink because there's more counter space, which you'll see in just a minute. So my camera holder thingy, technical terms, is tilting a little bit. So obviously I am also in the dark. Those wall lights, the sconces that you see up there, whenever my light is on, it's just too bright. So I'm going to wash my brushes in the dark today. But mainly I just wanted to kind of go over the different brushes that I have also. I'm going to turn on the water, and I will turn the camera here in just a minute so you can see more of what I'm doing. But I'm going to turn it on and let it get hot. But basically all the different brushes that I have and that I use on a regular basis, I want to make sure that I'm cleaning them and I keep them clean. They should be cleaned at least once a week. I'll admit I'm not good about doing that, which is a problem in the fact that especially with my brushes, they get different colors. So when I go to put a pink on and it's still got gray from the day before, not such a great look. And it's definitely not the look that I'm going for. So I'm really bad about wiping, I'll swap them off on a rag or something, but even that just doesn't really pull all that color out. And plus all that, you do have the bacteria that builds up in your brushes, and you definitely want to keep that off your eyes. I already have really sensitive eyes, so I try to maintain mine as well as I can. Okay, the water's hot. Now I'm going to fill this sink up with some water, and I'm putting in just Abby's baby shampoo, which is a really mild shampoo, real mild soap, so it's really good for your brushes. You don't really need any of that fancy brush stuff. I'm also adding a little bit of antibacterial soap, just a little bit because it's kind of perfumey, so I don't really want all that in my brushes, but I do get them pretty, kind of get the water soapy. So I'm going to let them soak just a little bit. You really don't want to let your brushes soak for too long because, and I'll show you, this part will soak up the water and it will start to come apart. And where your brushes are attached inside, the glues will loosen and your bristles will start coming out. And they'll start shedding, which you don't want. And especially for some of my higher end brushes, I certainly don't want that. So you want to make sure that you don't let them soak for very long. I'll put them in there and soak them for a few seconds just for me to kind of work through them. What I'm going to do is turn the camera down so you can see the sink and kind of see me washing off my brushes. It's not, rocket science to wash a brush, but it is extremely important to maintain your brushes, and it's important to maintain them correctly. Mild soaps are the best. I do like to use a little bit of an antibacterial. I do use a little bit of my Beauty Blender soap just because I got a really good deal with, the soap in a combination package, but I wouldn't go out and spend extra money on brush cleaners. I just wouldn't. You don't need to, in my opinion. And there it went again. So, sorry guys. There, that should do it. Helps if you click it. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna switch you around and just kind of show you what I do. I have all my brushes laid out. Which, yes, I have a lot of brushes. This is not even all of them. This is just all that I've used recently. I love brushes. I think brushes put on your makeup so well. I do have certain spots that I'll use my fingers, mostly just because I feel like it's quicker, but there are, 90%, 99% of my face I use brushes on. I'm telling you, if you don't use brushes now, get some brushes. You don't have to get expensive ones. I would be more than happy to recommend some. You can get some really good brushes for inexpensive, and it will change the world when you put your makeup on. It really, really will. So, okay, now I'm gonna try this, and hopefully this camera will not fall into the water. And we're gonna go down, okay. So, this is sort of my setup. Excuse me. And as you can see, I have the water, so I'm gonna put my bigger brushes in. I'm not going to put them all in at once just so that I can move through them quickly before they soak too long. So I'll just kind of put them in here. And this is my great big fluff kind of blender brush when I like to just blend stuff out, powder out on my face. And I'll just take a little bit of Abby shampoo. And yes, I am wearing gloves, and I'll tell you why. The reason I wear them is because I do have so many brushes to go through that by the time I get through washing them, my hands are all icky and my nails get super brittle because they're already super brittle. So you can kind of see I just took it on my hand like that, and then you just want to rinse it out good and squeeze it out. Be very careful not to squeeze too much. You don't want to pull these loose from the barrel. Excuse me, allergies are killing me. Okay, so I'm going to take just a little bit more. Abby's going to need some more shampoo when I'm done. That's okay. You can, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see all that? This is my highlighter brush. So, let's see. I just rinse that out. Move that over to the side. And this is my blush brush. And I think I'm actually going to use a little bit of my Beauty Blender soap, which you can see I just kind of squish up. Excuse me. And pull this up on there. And I use this for a lot of my blushes, especially my cream blushes, my Shadow Sense blush, which you guys know I freaking love. So you can see how well that cleans it. And I'm going to go ahead and let the water out so these aren't soaking for too long. And this brush I use for contouring. Now if you can see it, it's a little bit thicker, but it's also angled, which hits that, what am I trying to say? Right where your jawbone, that indentation in your cheek, where you want your contour, blends it out really good. And I love the tip of it because I'll use it along my jawline, where I want contouring on my jawline. And you see all that makeup in the sink? Yes, it's been a while. So, all right. I'm going to save that one for last. This one is my powder brush, blush brush. I can never say blush brush. So I'm just going to do this. I use this with my powders. This is really good. This is a Sigma brush. I really like Sigma brushes. But they can be a little bit pricier. They're probably about the same price as the IT brushes. And I freaking love the IT brushes. Those are good brushes. But I'm pickier about them just because, ooh, that's getting hot. This is my powder brush just because they are expensive. So I feel like some brushes, I don't really need to put that much money into it if I don't use them that much, like a big blending brush or something. But definitely my eye makeup brushes, I do. I like to put a little bit more money in when I can. Don't misunderstand me. I usually buy them on sale, and Christmas time is the best time to do it because you can get really good deals at Christmas with packages. Okay, now this is my foundation brush, and as you can see, it is super dirty, so I'm probably going to double clean that. You see all that? So I really love this brush. This is a Sigma 2. I've actually had several different foundation brushes that were really good. Bare Minerals has a really good one. Let's see, who else had a really good one that I liked? I gave it to Michelle too, I can't remember. But I like it because it does have a little bit of an angle. It's really thick, it's really soft, but not too soft. And it has a little bit of an angle to it. I'll show it to you in just a minute, see if I can get some more of the soap. This Beauty Blender soap is pretty good, but I feel like that other works just as well. But you can kind of see it's got a little bit of an angle, not a lot. But I just really like the way it puts my foundation on and doesn't drink it up. The bristles are really good. And that's one thing that you always want to, if you're not a stickler with, if you like some animal brushes, if you're not a real stickler, you always want to make sure when you use cream products, liquid products, that you use synthetic brushes as opposed to natural hair brushes. Natural hair brushes will soak up liquid, and it will soak up the cream so that you're not able to get as much product on your face as you are getting in your brush, and you don't want that. Okay, I'm gonna put half of those eye brushes in, and we are gonna work on this with those soap. Okay, now this is my crease brush, and this is an IT Cosmetics brush. I don't know why these things don't say what they are. It drives me crazy. But I'm just gonna dip that in my, as you can see, I use this one a lot. This is one that I should wash more regularly just because sometimes I don't get the color that I'm trying to get because of all the other color that's in it. Oh, come on. Work with me here. So, I was thinking about doing a separate video and doing, just going through and showing the different uses for each of these. And I may do that just because I am such a huge believer in the brushes. I love my brushes. This is an awesome little e.l.f. brush that I got. And as you can see, it's pretty small. But this has really been good with my creams, with my cream shadows, my Shadow Scent shadows, and it works really good spreading on the eye. And it's smaller, so I can actually use this to cut into my crease if I want to, or just put it on just my eyelid as opposed to the top part of the lid. And so in other words, I have more control over it because it's smaller. I really like it. That's a good one. And this is an actual Ulta brush that I got, and I have not got into the Ulta brushes until this last season, this last Christmas season. Is it last? It hasn't even happened yet. Oh my gosh. But this Christmas season, the sales that were going on, I actually bought a brush. My first Ulta brush was this brush, and I used this brush on my eyebrows. And as you can see, it's got an angle, and it's just the perfect firm softness to put the powder that I like to use on my eyebrows. Of course, I shape my eyebrows with a pencil, but I like to fill them in with a powder because it's just quicker. And we all like quick. This is one of the few EcoTool brushes that I like. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people really like EcoTool, so I don't have anything against them. Just me personally, I can't usually get them to work for me. However, this one is a lot like that e.l.f. brush. It's just a little bit bigger. You can see that. And I like it for the same reason I like the e.l.f. brush. It just, I can put my color right where I want it, and it picks up the color really good and puts it on the eye. That's a big thing with brushes. You have to be careful because sometimes you think, what's wrong with the eyeshadow? And it's not your eyeshadow, it's your brush. and that you're not getting any color on. Sometimes it's the eyeshadow, but excuse me, sometimes it is the brush. Okay, this is another new one that I got here recently and really like it. And again, it has an angle to it. I know y'all think I'm all into the angled brushes, but I swear I don't have all that many. But it's for your crease, and it's angled. I like how I can pull it from the outside of my eye in. I'm sorry, guys. I may have to pause here in a minute and go get a drink of water. I'm dying. Okay. So, and it is cold and wet and rainy here. Of course, I guess that's why it would be wet, but you know what I mean. We were going to go to the Trail of Lights, no, Old Settlers tonight in Round Rock. We have put that off for another night. Now, this is one of my favorite brushes. I love this brush. This is an IT Cosmetics brush, and I use this for just picking up color and putting it in like all over my eyelid. It's really good about that. I can't really focus it on small areas, but it's really, really good for like covering your whole eyelash. No, not your whole eyelash, your whole eyelid. And this is another one of my, what is this? Oh, this one says, look. All right, this is an IT Cosmetics. This is the 220 Small Shadow Brush. And I like this one just because this is the one I've been using for those little tiny corners on the inside of your eyes. I like to put a bright color, like I'll use the Pink Frost Shadow Sense or the Pink Opal Shimmer Shadow Sense, and it just really, even though, you know, I may be wearing darker colors, it really pops open the eyes. And this is just the perfect size for getting it in that corner and lighten it up. So, okay, one more set. And some of these are more of the same. Okay, only two or three of these are more the same, but you get the idea. Rinse this out. I'm gonna get some hot water again. Get some more soap in. A little bit of my antibacterial in. And I'm just running warm water. But you can see how it already, you see all the makeup already in the water. Okay. So this is another one of those Eco Tools. I have two of the same brush. It's just a good brush. So I like that. So there's that. And then this one is a Real Techniques brush. And I use this for the same thing as I use the other small brush from IT Cosmetics that I just told you, to highlighter in the corner. Under the brow. Sometimes I use the highlighter, my highlighter on the upper part of my lip. Sometimes I like to use that brush and take my Shadow Sense and use that as my highlighter on my cheeks or my, the upper part of my lip. You know what I'm talking about, that little notch on your lip, on your upper lip. Okay, now this is my, get that. This is my eyeshadow brush that I like so much. This is an Ulta brush, and it's a brow brush. And that's another thing with brushes, guys. Don't be afraid just because they call it a crease brush or an eyebrow brush, or I use brushes for whatever I want to use brushes for. If it makes, you know, the job easier, it will pick up the color and put it the way that I want to put it on my face, then that's how I use it. You don't have to use it for what it says. Feel free to experiment. This is another IT Cosmetics brush. It's really small, but it's perfect for using when I just want to cut crease, which I don't know how many of you know that makeup technique, but it's really good. It's where you want to put a crease line in one exact spot. You're not really blending it out. It's just kind of a line. I don't know. I'll have to show you sometime. That's a pretty cool technique. Ooh, let's rinse that. But this is really good at that, for that. This is my eyeliner brush, because I love the Onyx Shadow Sense as my eyeliner. I love that stuff. You put it on, it is black, black. Sometimes you get eyeliners that are not black, true black, or true color of the color you're going for. And that one is, and it stays. It's easy to put on, and it stays all day. This is another one of those e.l.f. brushes that I got when I bought that kit, which reminds me, I happened to find another one of those kits. Is that correct, Grammar? I happened to have found another one of those kits the other day when I was at Target of the e.l.f. brushes. And it is this one, what's another one? This one, I feel like there was another one. This one, there were this one. I think all of these brushes were in that kit. And I picked one up as just a Christmas thing, and I don't know if they still have them or not. If you can find one, I encourage you to get that kit. It's like 10 bucks, and these are really good brushes. So, what is this brush? This is one of my Ulta brushes. This is the concealer brush. And this is another brush that, well, I was telling you, I don't use this for concealer. I don't use a brush for concealer. That's the one thing that I don't use a brush for. But I do like this because it is made for cream cosmetics. So I love this with my cream eyeshadows. And I can put this on my eyes using that cream shadow. And I love that. Okay, and then here's that small one that I think I already washed and put back in there. Awesome. And then, of course, the... this is actually my MAC brush. It's my one MAC brush, but it's my eyebrow brush. I've had this thing forever and a day. Oh my gosh, I've had it for so long. It just lasted forever. But honestly, I like my e.l.f. one even better because it's softer. And I love the softness of it. So, anyway, that's my brushes. Get you back up here if I can. I don't have to. Okay, so that's all my brushes, and I think I would like to do one more video on brushes and just show the different techniques and how you can use them. So if you guys have any questions on any brushes, I would love to answer them. Any specific uses for them or specific brand of brushes, I've tried a lot of different ones. Some are mostly hit or miss. So I'm either really loving it or really not loving it. But I also wanted to show you guys my how I clean my beauty blender. So I don't make this the longest video in the world on cleaning brushes. I'm going to pause and I'm going to take the soap and I'm just going to squeeze it and clean it out really good. And then I'll show you putting it in the microwave in that technique. Okay. I just want to show you real quick what I do with my beauty blender. And here is, excuse my crazy kitchen, we are doing lots of cookie baking and ornament making and Christmas gift wrapping. But basically this is what I do. It's just a shallow bowl that I put my beauty blender in. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Just enough to kind of set in it, for it to set in. And then I'm going to put it into the microwave. Oops, I'm gonna make a huge giant mess first. Okay, and then I'm gonna put it in there for about a minute. And then when it comes out, I'm gonna let it cool a little bit, and then I will squeeze it out, dry it out as much as I can. I'll, take a towel to it because it's going to be still pretty warm. And then set it out so it can completely dry. And I try not to use it for at least 2 days so it can dry out completely. And that helps kill out all that bacteria. So just one more brush for you guys to take care of. I love my beauty blender. If I could have 10 of them, I would. But I just have the one right now because I was collecting brushes, but I will soon be grabbing some other beauty blenders. I love those. But thank you guys for watching this, and please feel free to comment below, ask any questions. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot. Bye.